All right, hey Math 9. So we are going to be going over some previous skills. Maybe you remember some of the stuff, maybe you don't. It's okay if you don't. We'll go over it here quick. So first off, this number one says plot each of the following points on the graph below. Is this a linear relation? So just want to remind you guys about plotting, right? So on right here, we've got our x values and our y values. If we're going to put these onto a graph, our x values are down here, right? So these are going up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So counting by 1. So those correspond to these. Those are our x values, right? Our y values are going up this side. So I just want to kind of remind you how you would do this then. So if I have x is 7 and y is 2, what that means is that you'd go over 7, right? So I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over, right? So I'm like right there now, if you can see that on the screen. And then you're going to go up 2, right? So you're going to go up 2 on the y value. So 1, 2. So this point, this very first point would be right there. Okay, so I'm just going to erase these so clean it up a little bit. So it would just be that point right there, right? So that would be that one. Okay, and then you do the same for 8 and 6. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys do that or do the rest of that one though. So you do 8, you count over 8, you count up 6, and then over 9, and then up 10, right? So that's gonna be how that's gonna work. And then it says, is this a linear relation? So the word linear comes from the word line, right? So it means, would this make a straight line? Okay, so moving on to the next one here. It says the graph below expresses the relationship between the number of crates of nails that Jim's construction has left and the number of houses the company builds. All right, so A says, how many crates of nails does the company start out with, right? So remembering, crates of nails is our Y, right? So what do we start with? So number of houses built on the bottom. So we're starting, with 0 houses, right? So this is really saying, if you can, I know you can't see my hand right now, but it's really going to be right here. Where they start with? Well, they're going to start with 100 crates. They're going to start with 100, right? B says, what are the coordinates of point A on the graph? So point A, I didn't make that very clear, did I? Well, point A, I'm going to say right there, right where it crosses nicely there. So what are the coordinates? So coordinates are going to be something that would look like this. So it's going to be some number, comma, some number, where the first number would be the x value, and the second number would be the y value, right? So maybe I will help you out with this one. So 5 is going to be our x value. Remember, x values are on the bottom. So this is going to be 5, comma, 60. 5, comma, 60. So our x value is 5, and our y value, right? Y values are over here, is 60, right? So you can, maybe this would help to draw a line up to that. So that's 5 and 60. Okay, so that's how that works. All right, how many crates of nails remain after 9 houses have been built? All right, so 9 houses have been built, right? So houses built right there, right? 9. I really want to just draw a straight line up from 9 and see where I'm at for my y values, right? So I'm going to let you guys figure that out. This one doesn't line up quite nicely. It's not going to be 30. It looks like it's going to be a little bit less. So I'll let you kind of come up with a number for that. Okay, moving on to the next one here. All right, next one here. It says Maya and her friends decide to hike the Appalachian Trail along the eastern U.S. They are able to travel 20 kilometers each day, and it says by day 5 they have made it 100 kilometers. And it says A, construct a line graph that represents Maya's journey. Ensure to label all axes. All right, so first off, let's figure out what we want our axes to be. Typically, axes are just like the bottom and the side, right, or our axes. So typically, pretty much all the time, time is going to be on the bottom. So time, or days, you might say, right? So time, days. So across the bottom, I'm going to make each of these really 1 day. That's probably going to be the easiest. We're just going to go up by 1. Okay, so we're going to have 1 day, 2 day, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and right at least 15. Okay, and technically 0 would be right there, right? Okay, so that's time on the bottom. And then across the top, just take a second. What do you think we should go? What should be on the y-axis? Well, how about distance, right? In kilometers. So distance. And then typically you might put in brackets, like kilometers, just to show what we're actually measuring it in. And I probably should have done that for time as well. So I'd say time, and then brackets, I'd say days. Okay? And, okay, so back y-axis for the distance. What should we go up by? Well, they said that they're able to travel 20 kilometers each day, right? I can make my axes whatever I want, right? But some are going to be easier and harder to go up by. Like for example, I could go up by 20s, right? Like this is 20, this is 40, 50, and 60. And that's probably a good way to do it, right? Just going up by that. I could have, if I wanted to, go up by 10s or anything, but I think this one's going to work out nice, right? Like everything will line up like on like a nice spot, like right there, right? So I think that's what we're going to go up by. So I'm going to keep going. So 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. 120. Oh, I said 20 and 12. 130, 140, 150, 160. All right. Okay, so let's kind of think about like our data here now, right? So each day, every day, you're able to travel 20 kilometers. So let's just even make that point, right? All right, after 1 day, right? 1 day on the bottom there. How many kilometers have I went? Well, I went 20. So my first point would be right there. After 2 days, well, then I've gone another 20. So I'd be at 40. 3, I'd be at... Oh, no, I screwed up my axes. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake, but I'm not starting a video over. They're making a new video, so can you guys please erase all of that? Because I started going up by 10s. Maybe you guys noticed that as I was doing it. We got to go up by 20s. Sorry, so 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, and yeah, we won't even really need those. All right, so sorry about that. Let's carry on. So then 3, you'd be at 60, 4, 80, 5, 100, 6. You can see the pattern happening here, right? So we're making a line. This is a linear relation. And then you would use a ruler. I'm going to do my best here to make a straight line. Like that one. Start there. And you make a straight line going through your points there, right? All right, so hopefully you guys did a little bit better than me with a line there. But the next question says, how far could Maya and her friends hike over a span of 12 days? All right, so this really means I'm going to look at 12, right? 12, and then go straight up from there and see where I'm at, really. So 12, I never quite made my line long enough, but that would be right here. And I guess I did need to say that. It would be 240, right? So at that point, after 12 days, if this continues, they'll have gone 240 kilometers. All right, what is the dependent variable? And then it says, what is the independent variable? All right, so the variables are the axes, right? They're what's on each side. So time or distance, right? Well, so think about this for a second. Time doesn't depend on anything, right? So That's going to be the independent variable. Time just keeps ticking by. There's nothing, yeah, like it just keeps doing what it's doing, right? But the kilometers, really how far you go, depends on the days, right? Because if I'm at like 7 days, let's say here, right? That's going to be, if I go on my graph, 140, right? If I went here, well, 140 depending on how many days. So the distance would be your dependent variable. Distance depends on time, right? Distance depends on time. Okay, so let's move on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make a new video just so you guys can break these up because they're kind of two different concepts. So yeah, we'll be into that.